going to make a Cornish classic crab pasta, but we're going to make our tagliatelle from scratch. A nice little crab sauce, a little bit of heat from the chilli, brought together with some butter and some chicken stock. It's going to be really balanced, really sweet, tiny bit of spice in the background. Really incredible plate of pasta. Let's give it a crack. We're going to just knock up a little chicken stock. Use it for many things, like pasta sauces, starter gravies, and just stops you using that powdered crap from the supermarkets, to be honest. We've got some nice chicken wings left over from a roast chicken last night. A little bit of leek. I mean, you just have to hack it up, really. You don't have to worry too much about all this. All like the carrots and onions will give it a little bit of body, a little bit of texture to it as well, which will be good. You don't have to worry about peeling your onions. We're just going to throw it in there, let it simmer away for a little bit. Cool. Nice cold water, just to kind of let the juices out of the chicken. We'll let it go to a simmer and we'll leave that for a little while. After simmering for about half an hour or so, we can see some of those impurities starting to form on the top. So I'm just going to use a little ladle and try and get some of them out. Just here, a little bit in the corner there. Just have a little bowl on the side. And then every now and again you can pull some of that out. And that'll just help keep your chicken stock nice and clear. Cool. Don't throw these wings out. When they've cooled, I'm going to pick them down and have a nice little pasta filling with that, which would be lovely. Or just as they are, just roast them in the oven. A little bit of spice, that'd be lovely. In the fridge, that'll last a good few days, or you could put it into a little tub and just pack them down in the freezer and just pull them out as you need to. Easy as that. Okay, we're going to make some pasta dough. Two different ways you could do this. You can either just throw it all together in a food processor, whiz it up, put it in the fridge, happy days, or you can just make it by hand. We can use some double O flour, about 250 grams of that, and some egg yolk to make a nice egg pasta dough, about 130 grams of them. I'm going to slowly bring those egg yolks together. Probably stop using the fork now. Get all the excess off of that. Got a little scraper here now to finish it off. Nice. Let's use your fingers and start bringing it together like a nice little dough. It's this bit why I don't personally use a processor, because the little engine isn't going to enjoy this too much over time. Nice, okay, cool. Right, so I'm just going to wrap that up now, and we'll use that in about an hour or so. So it's had this little rest. Let's put it through the machine. So we can use a little bit of fine semolina, just so it doesn't stick to the machine too much. I've got some double O flour if I really need it, but if I start using that, it's going to make it a little bit drier, whereas the semolina won't do that so much. Cool. So we're going to start with the thickest setting. Obviously that's the thinnest, and that opens it right up. Easy peasy. Push it through on the thickest setting first, just to get it in its first little mode. Like that. A bit more semolina. And we're going to start bringing this down to number 7. So 10 next. And 9. Then 8. And 7. And then we're going to roll it back up onto itself and do that whole process again. So this process is called like giving it soul. You want to try and take that stickiness out of it and make it a bit more matte. So this might take a few goes, usually 4 or 5. As it gets a bit longer, when you're putting it into the machine, just rest it on the back of your hand. And as you fold it in, you can then grab it from the bottom, just to save it all getting stuck and caught up. That's looking a lot more matte. It's not quite as sticky on my fingers, so I'm pretty happy with that now. So the next stage is going to be actually banging it into portions. Okie dokie. Stage 2. Now I don't want to run it through this way, the whole way through, because I end up with pasta this long. So I'm going to give it a couple of turns at its widest setting. And now I'm going to start running it through properly. And that's kind of what you're looking for, really. If you've got a cutter attachment for your machine, you can just run it through there if you like. I just quite like cutting it by hand. Nice sort of dusting again of semolina, and then just roll it into a nice little mound. Cool. I'm going to start putting this little sauce together now. Chop up the chilli and the garlic first. Leave that in a bit of olive oil. Let's cut up some parsley. The lemons are a bit later. It's going to be quite quick, this. So we've got our chilli and garlic in the olive oil. We've got our chicken stock. Throw some of that in now. Massive lump of butter. I suppose, you know, like 70 grams or so. That's going to go in with the brown crab. The lemon juice. Our water's boiling for the pasta, so I'm going to throw some salt into that. In with some white crab. And we definitely want that temperature down now for this, otherwise we're going to overcook that crab. In with some chopped parsley, and that's essentially it done. This won't take long at all because it's fresh. Minute and a half, I reckon, tops on this. It's got a little bit of a bite to it still, which is what we're looking for. So I'm actually going to take out the pasta now, and we're going to finish cooking it in the sauce. Let that just rest for a second, because that pasta is obviously very hot, but we want it to absorb all that juice, which you can see down here still, that juice. We want that pasta to have absorbed all of that. And I'm actually going to put a tiny bit more butter in at the end as well. When I say a tiny bit, I mean loads. Cool, all right, I'm going to let that rest just for a second before plating. Get a nice glass of white wine. The key thing is making the fresh pasta, and just having the pasta cook in the water to about 70% and then finishing it in the chicken stock with the butter, and that just thickens the sauce slightly and gives it a real nice bite, but all that crab and chicken stock flavour just goes through the pasta as well. So it's not like it's not like too much flavour, but it's just mild, sweet and balanced all the way through. But it's all about the texture on this one. It's an absolute worldie. It's so good. It's absolutely perfect.